It's a mass. It was a mass media blitz day, and around EITC, and we had all over the country participating in special events highlighting the earned income tax credit. It was a service for this tax filing season 2013. So if you weren't a part of it, consider perhaps next year joining. So the impact of earned income tax credit. It is the largest federal anti-poverty program. So last year there were over 27 million taxpayers who received those $62 billion. And that's a lot. But there are only 4 out of 5 people are eligible for the credit that actually do claim the credit. So there is a gap there. But overall, those that received it, it lifted an estimated 6.6 million people out of poverty, and 2.3 million of them were eligible. And the cost of administering the program in the ratio is actually less than 1. It's a great program, and we're able to administer it. So generally, income and family size determine the taxpayer's eligibility, and then the EITC amount that they would be receiving. So as you can see by this chart, based on the filing status and the number of children, if you go down to the bottom right corner, the maximum amount of the credit that a family with 3 or more children can receive is $5,891, and that's substantial income to taxpayers at this time in our economic times that we're having right now, actually. So how do you get it? To qualify this for the credit, you must meet all that criteria, and you must especially have earned income from employment, either self-employment or another source, and then there are certain eligibility rules that you also must meet. So there are additional rules for workers without a qualifying child if you do not have a child, but there are special rules if you do have children that you must meet as well, and the children. But most importantly, you have to file a tax return in order to get the credit. This EITC is money that taxpayers can use to make their lives a little easier now, or money that they can actually put away and save for a rainy day. Our studies have shown that the EITC is used mainly for everyday living expenses, like auto repairs, utilities, and so on. So, all right. Why is outreach so important? Why do we focus so much on outreach? I had kind of said that only 4 out of 5 eligible persons actually claim the credit. So that's basically what this little graph here is showing. GAO actually did a study a few years back, and their estimate was between 20 and 25% of eligible workers are not claiming the credit that they are actually entitled to. So it's a national estimate. It may not be specifically in your area, but it's a substantial amount. And we need to educate, inform, and make those folks aware that if they qualify, file a tax return, they may be eligible to get a refund. I just want to give you a couple facts. Up to $10 billion are not being claimed by those taxpayers that are eligible but are not claiming. So that's a lot of money out there, and it really means that we need to step up the outreach. And unfortunately, taxpayers, your clients, nobody likes to get letters or hear from the IRS. So what we've done is partnered with various organizations and asked them who work with the taxpayers, their clients, each and every day or monthly, whatever, to share this information. So we really do have a lot of work to do, and we ask for help from everyone who has contact with any of those population segments that I showed you earlier. So, and they may very well be your clients that are missing out. In 2012, statistics revealed that 3.2 million taxpayers did receive free tax preparation services. So I want to point out that with that, 70% of the 20% that or 25% that don't claim, they use a paid prepare. So all 70% use the paid prepare of those tax returns, and it costs anywhere between $200 to $250 to have a tax return prepared and electronically filed. And if you have any additional documents with them, it could be even more than that. So that's a huge number, and it's taken directly from their tax refund, so it is reduced. And our goal is to educate people and make sure that they are aware of the free tax sites so that they can preserve the integrity of their tax refunds. So who else might be some of those folks that are missing out on the credit? A lot of times workers with disabilities, they don't want to file their tax returns. Low-income folks who are self-employed don't file returns because of self-employment taxes. And there's immigrant workers who have difficulty reading tax forms. Probably we all have trouble with tax forms. There's really not a tax form out there that is easy to understand and follow. But so there's a lot of folks out there that need to be guided, and we need help in that. So I think, you know, being that there is $10 billion, it's estimated, that is being unclaimed, we really want to step up our efforts. So make sure that everybody who is eligible to claim it is filing a tax return to do so. Some of the folks that might be missing out on it are workers that are not required to file returns. But even if you don't meet the minimum requirement to file a tax return because your income is so low and your deductions override any tax, you still need to file in order to get your earned income tax credit, and it would come to you as a refund because it is a refundable credit. So there's some other folks here that you might work with in your offices, and definitely know that they might need some of this information. So I briefly mentioned the high cost of commercial tax preparation. So there's the 70%, and 30% are do use our free file program or our free tax preparation program. So tax returns are very daunting. I don't like doing tax returns either, and they become very complex. And EITC is complex. There are a lot of eligibility rules around that. So they feel more comfortable going to a pay prepare. So we need to make sure they know where the pre-tax service can be taken advantage of. So about some of our free tax support, we have several ways to access it. One of them is the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, so that's our VITA program, and it's been around since 1969, so it's been around for a long time, and we used to operate it here, and there were so many people that needed the service that we just don't have enough personnel resources. So our partners have stepped up, and they are preparing returns, hosting sites, and they're absolutely fantastic. So another way is our 400 taxpayer assistance centers, and a taxpayer can just walk into the office and get assistance. There's probably going to be a long wait during this filing season, but if so, at least they can have a return prepared for free. So now our free file consortium is on our website, and there's a little sample where you can access it. But you can go directly to the internet, our irs.gov, and sign in. And if you qualify, then you can have your tax. You can go through, prepare your own tax return, and electronically file it, and it's all done for free. So this year the milestone rate, I believe, is $57,000 in income. So if you fall below that, you should check out our free file site, and especially if you feel comfortable preparing the tax return. So on the next slide, last year with free sites, we had more than 13,000 free sites. So that's a tremendous amount of sites. And to fill and process and work within those sites, we had 90,000 volunteers who all came together in their communities to work and provide these services for our mutual clients. So, I mean, to me, that's just absolutely astounding that 90,000 volunteers are out there helping. There were more than 3.2 million tax returns filed through the VITA and the TCE program. So that has also 2 million state tax returns were filed. The savings bonds, so people are saving. There were 52,000 taxpayers that fall into the earned income tax credit eligibility who claimed and deposited money into a savings bond. So that's a great effort for asset building and savings. And our direct deposit rate was 67%, and we started out very, very, very low years ago. So 67% is great. And I know there's a lot of people out there that still don't have bank accounts, so hesitate to sign up for direct deposit without that. So our asset building education tools can share that with them about the ability to direct deposit. So we know there's a lot of challenges in Native American communities. We know you have a lot of problems. One thing is by working together, we can hope that we can meet all those needs and increase services in those communities. So, you know, they're rural, they're isolated, and they're difficult to share information and get the word out to everyone. But what we've done, I used to actually work on the rural team with the IRS and SPEC, and one of the things we developed was a new model, and it was to be able to get these services deep into rural and isolated remote communities. So we have two now that are new, and one is called the Virtual VITA, and that's the one that launched from our rural initiative when we were trying to find out what a good way would be to reach those clients out there. But this model, Virtual VITA, it utilizes technology that connects the volunteer and the taxpayer. So in addition to just using computers, you can also use fax and mail capabilities, just the regular postal service. So with this model, the taxpayer isn't in the same room as the volunteer who's actually preparing the return. If you're at all familiar with the VITA site, taxpayer goes into the VITA site, they sit down, they're face-to-face, they talk and discuss the documents that the taxpayer's brought, and from that the preparer is able to prepare the tax return, and then the taxpayer leaves. With this, there's a liaison. We have a volunteer at a site that is in a rural or isolated community, and they are the ones that can then negotiate the taxpayer's documents to a preparation site. And the return will be prepared, and then once the return is prepared, it gets sent back to the taxpayer who's living in the rural community. So this may be something that you want to consider and look into for next year. It takes one person, and the only training there is about it is to know what responsibilities one has as far as with the documents and just being on the up and up and doing the conforming to the processes that have been outlined for this model. So it's just a volunteer agreement form that says you'll do what's right. And there's no tax law required, no tax preparation training that needs to be completed. The other model is the Facilitated Self-Assistance, it's FSA, and it is a model that is using individuals who feel comfortable preparing their own tax return with a coach that's there to help maybe up to 6 or 10 other people that are in the room. So if there's a computer available at a location and there is a coach that would like to help and offer their assistance, then they can help the taxpayers prepare their own returns. One caveat, that coach does need to have tax law knowledge and know how to prepare a tax return. So I have some information from the last year's filing season. So last year we filed 2011 tax returns and during the 2012 month. So there were 161 sites that combined prepared over 47,699 tax returns, which made almost $24 million in EITC be returned back to those communities. Over $65 million in total refunds were returned to the community. And thanks and kudos to all the volunteers that make this happen. So, I mean, this is just awesome, and hope each and every year that number can grow. But thank you all if you are one of the volunteers. We appreciate it so much. So this is a listing of free tax prep resources, and I included it in here to have as a resource for you in the future. And please share it with your clients or your coworkers or your neighbors or anyone. But these are the various ways that you can have tax returns prepared for free. So please make use of it because they're out there and ready to go. Now, what I'd like to do now is to introduce Jeff. And I didn't know, Richard, are you?
Yeah, I can. I have his bio here. I'll pass it over to Jeff. But thank you so much, Becky. That was great, and thank you for all the facts too. And the results of what happened from 2012. I always find those really fascinating. So thanks for putting those on the slides. We're going to turn it over to Jeff Gilbreath now, who's the Executive Director of Hawaiian Community Assets, which is actually one of ANA's current grantees in the Pacific region under our Social and Economic Development Program, or SEDS program. Their current ANA grant is in their third and final year, and it provides financial literacy education and counseling services to assist homeless individuals and families in transition from shelters to permanent housing. And Jeff joined Hawaiian Community Assets in 2008 with experience in youth mentoring, family services, and self-help housing. Jeff has over 10 years experience in nonprofit program development and management, a background in federal and state policy promoting sustainable communities, and experience training and mobilizing staff and volunteers. He is president of the Hawaii Jumpstart Financial Education Coalition and serves as a representative on the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement Board, as well as the Alaska Growth Capital Native Community Development Financial Institutions Advisory Committee. Really honored to have Jeff here with us to share his story, so I'll turn it over to him.
Great, thanks folks. Appreciate it, Richard and Becky. You know, guys, I think from our standpoint as a provider, Becky touched on so many points that I just there's a few things that I want to bring to your attention, kind of in the context of the work that we've done with our project, but also where we see it headed. So Richard did mention about our program that we have in partnership with ANA. To let you folks know, we are a Department of Housing and Urban Development Housing Counseling Agency, as well as a Native Community Development Financial Institution. And so in providing our financial literacy services, as Beckie said, we saw a huge gap in the number of Native Hawaiian families that were able to access earned income tax credit, child tax credits, and just returns in general. And so in 2008, we started our Volunteers in Tax Assistance program and continued to serve about 200 families statewide. Specifically with this project, in the first 2 years of the project, we helped 24 families, Native Hawaiian families, employed in transitional shelters here, to secure $36,872 in earned income tax credit. That doesn't include additional tax return money or child tax credit money. That's all earned income tax credit. You know, in doing this work, though, I'm sure all you guys know we're understaffed and resources can't go far enough. So in this third year, and I'm so glad that Beckie had brought it up, in this third year we went away from actually setting up volunteers and tax assistance sites at the shelters as we had done, and instead have used their facilitated self-assistance program, which Beckie talked a little bit about. Essentially, it's a virtual VITA site that we can assist folks in getting enrolled into an H&R Block program, which provides free tax assistance for families making $57,000 and under. This is an initiative of Goodwill Industries, the IRS, as well as the National Disabilities Council. And just so you guys know, so in the first 2 years we served 24 families. Took a lot of work, hard work in getting our staff trained, ready to go. In this third year, we've assisted 24 families. So we have done just as much as we did in the last 2 years, but using the facilitated self-assistance program. So I know I'm sure all of you guys on the line are thinking, okay, not one more thing we have to do, right? It's hard to wear another hat. But the facilitated self-assistance program is really, it's a way to make sure that you're not overburdening your staff. You can integrate it into your financial literacy programs or any programs that you have to help folks file for free their state and federal tax returns, again, if they're making $57,000 or less. And this provides another opportunity for us, I think, as service providers to not have to put boots on the ground to make sure that families are getting the money that's rightfully theirs. Instead, it's using technology in a very innovative way. The facilitated self-assistance program itself is like a TurboTax, essentially. So we even have some staff kind of walking families through the process with the whole idea that we're going to train them so that they can do it next year on their own. And I think it just, again, provides a way for us as small service providers to be able to get that moving, to get families to claim those tax returns and earned income tax credits. You know, Beckie had mentioned earned income tax credits are the largest anti-poverty program that the federal government has. But just to give you guys a sense, in Hawaii, in 2006, we left $44 million on the table that went unclaimed It could have definitely helped a bunch of our families in the shelters get into rental housing. So I do see VITA, Volunteers in Tax Assistance, as a great opportunity if you want to get a bunch of volunteers on the ground and take on that heavy lift. But if you're looking to integrate something into your programs it's not going to be as far of a stretch, isn't going to take as much manpower, the Facilitated Self-Assistance Program is great, guys, and this is our first year of doing it, but I definitely see HCA doing this and using this program moving forward to serve all of our families. So I think that's all I really have for you guys. I'm open for any questions or anything too. So.
Wow, thanks, Jeff. That's really awesome. I'm so glad to hear that you're working with the FSA model, and I hope that everybody can see that what Jeff was saying, how once they began that, they were able to reach out and touch and provide services to so many folks. So we're not even halfway done, and they're more than exceeding what they've done in the prior 2 years. So that's really wonderful, and that's, we're hoping that more people will join us in the future and work with this program. So anyway, Jeff, thanks. You're doing a great job, it sounds like. So thank you so much. So what I'm going to do in the next little bit is I have some information, and I'm going to just briefly, I hope, tell you about how you can maybe help and provide more information to your clients or friends, neighbors, whoever within your community. So all of our products and publications are free, and we have a lot of free tax brochures and products, forms. I mean, if you go into one of our taxpayer assistance sites, you'll see it's just walls of publications. So they're all free. We've established a special web page on IRS.gov, and it serves as a marketing tool for our partners. So people like you who want to partner with us and Jeff, there's a special page just for you where you can go in and get up to the minute the latest tax information, articles, pre-made, ready to go articles, just tons of information on all sorts of tax matters. We have PSAs and all kinds of others. We have a link from IRS.gov to our EITC Central website, and that is a separate website that houses more marketing, promotional, informational materials and products. So it's at EITC Central, and in a little bit I'm going to give you some more information about that. And then every year we have that day, special day that we call the EITC Nationwide Outreach Day, and it is a day of media blitz, and so we try to have as many organizations and events and news information sources relaying the information about the earned income tax credit. So we're only halfway through filing season now. We still have a good ways to go, and we really definitely want to make sure that those who haven't filed yet are filing and claiming all the credits and benefits that they have earned. At this time, I'm going to try to do something. No. Okay, sorry. I won't do it right now. Never mind. I'll just show you. We'll go on to the next slide. This now is a sample of our Outreach Corner. It's just a quick screenshot of it. But if you can read that teeny tiny print, there's tons of information on there. So you can download everything, and it's free. So we have this IRS has all of our products are free. So we have products on earned income tax credit as well as some other tax materials. But they go in a range from big posters that you can put on your walls in your offices down to little tiny sample mail out stuffers. So this happens to be a mail stuffer that can go into a small bill like an electric bill. Now on this page, if you'll notice at the top header, that is the website that houses all the marketing products and statistics and other items. And this is our home page for EITC Central. Now on IRS.gov, we also have a home page about earned income tax credit, and there is more tax law detailed information on that site. On this site, it also has that information, but perhaps not as detailed. But all the products and marketing information is here if you'd like to share. So I just tell you the EITC Central, there's a little blue tab right here, and if you notice, there's a lot of different subsections here, information about what's hot, tax things that may have changed. There's statistics, news releases and PSAs, so you can just go directly there and get whatever you want. Up in the middle tab is a toolkit for tax preparers, which unless you're preparing tax returns you don't need. There's a partner toolkit though, where it has all pre-made information and products ready. Now there's a Marketing Express where you can customize and use your logos, and I don't know if Jeff has done that, but he can use his logos from his organization and put on these EITC products. So just another opportunity here. This is a sample of the actual statistics that are online. They're by state, and we hope you'll make use of them and check out the states that you're in. Now this next slide here has all the resources for you to order products. If you physically want to get products and you just don't want to download them electronically, which they all are downloadable. But you can order here and get hard copies of products sent to you. So this is a brand new product, this one right here. It's an EITC Outreach Kit, and it was just released last Friday. And it is a compilation of all those EITC-related products that are on EITC Central. So posters, tweets that you can put on Twitter. That's what I'm looking to show you. I'm so sad, but anyway, everything you want about earned income tax credit is on here as far as product and promotion. So please check it out. It's on both the EITC website, Central website, as well as the IRS.gov. It's going to be posted in both places. So we have a special page that is just for partners. So if in addition to the Outreach Corner, if you are interested in partnering and if you want to find out more information about how to partner in your community, you can get some information from this page here. So we hope you can access that. I wanted to talk more about partnering. If you are interested, you've got the website to get it's just so important how much effect that and impact it can have in communities when people and organizations all come together and work together. So we are working, as I said earlier, with thousands of partners all over the United States. And working together and by sharing resources and skills and ideas, it really truly strengthens the community. So you need to know, if you're not already involved, but you do need to know who the right partners might be that can help you, that you could unite with, that could provide services. So these are a few of the types of partners that may already be engaged in your community and you may want to partner with. So, you know, look at the list, and maybe once you get back to your office, you will think, gee whiz, maybe if I contacted them or contacted the IRS, I could see what's going on in my community. So we can get more folks involved with the free tax program, claiming the earned income tax credit. So if you are interested in partnering with the IRS, this is some information. The SPEC contacts are on the left. If you just simply send an email to partner@irs.gov, please put your name, your address, especially your city and state, so we can make sure that it gets to the right person, and then they will contact you. And I'm always available for help and try to get you anything I can, and that's my email address just under that partner@irs.gov. So feel free to contact me anytime. I'd be more than happy to help you. Another way to be able to find out some information about what's going on in your area, the Center for Budget and Policy Priorities has a national EITC Outreach Partnership, and they have on their website at this location that's on the screen some information about some of the coalitions and community groups that are working together in the country. So you might go in there in your location and see what organizations are involved and see who's not involved and go from there. So the last one is the ACT, and it's the Asset Coalition Toolkit. There's a lot of information on that website as well, and you can also get statistics defined more. You can drill down more with the EITC statistics on their website. We're only offering the state amount on our website. You can get more information from our local offices by contacting them, but you can also get it from there. They go down at least to the zip code as well. I believe they do counties also. So with that, that's really all I have. I'm open for questions, and I know Jeff said he was. And I'm going to say one thing. I was going to run a YouTube video about social media. We are big into social media. It's free, it's fast, and it spreads like wildfire. So, I mean, you can just exponentially reach so many people. It's unbelievable. So I hope that you would go on our website and EITC Central. We have everything pre-planned. We have the Tumblr, tweets. We just have so much social media available. So I hope that you will check it out. And I'm sorry, my IRS little video did not work for us today, but I appreciate your taking the time out to be with us, and I'll be glad to answer any questions if there are any. So is that good? Should we, Rich, go on to questions?
Yeah, Becky, thank you so much, as well as Jeff. And I see 2 people have raised their hands already, so I'm going to start opening up to questions. So Napua, looks like you have the first question.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a 2-part question. Both Jeff and Becky, you mentioned that millions of dollars go unclaimed each year for the EIT credit. For those who did not file last year or the year before, can a qualified person still file and claim the EITC? And number 2, can they also utilize the free tax resources to do that?
I hope everybody heard the question, but in response to the first one, you can go back 3 years and file a tax return. So if someone has not filed a tax return, is eligible in those previous years to file a tax return, they may do so and the refund. About doing it at free locations, I'm not too sure about that. They have to go to a separate taxpayer assistance center, one of our offices. It depends on the qualifications of the tax preparers. So I'm just not certain about that right now. Jeff, did you have anything you wanted to offer?
Yeah, I know at least in the state of Hawaii we have Volunteer Legal Services of Hawaii used to do it. That they would actually file up to 3 years back. But another good resource for all of you folks to maybe consider is your state tax office. That I don't know how engaging your states are in that, but I know that our local one here in Hawaii, that they offer assistance in being able to claim back taxes.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you. So next I have, I think Anita and Nikki have the next questions, and it looks like Anita raised her hand first. So I'm going to read out your question, and if there's anything you'd like to add to it, Anita, go ahead. So in your chat box, you write, do you have to receive site coordinator certification to operate a VITA site? And where on the website can you obtain the test?
Can you obtain the test? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And would you mind repeating the first part of the question? I'm sorry.
My question was, do you have to receive a site coordinator certification? I know in the year 2008 I went online and had to take a test, and I haven't done the VITA in almost two years now, going on 3. So I was wondering, do you still have to get that certification to operate a VITA site to be able to assist individuals with the EITC?
Yes.
Okay, and where on the website would you go in and get that?
I think you can access it from that website, the partner website. So if you look back at, if you want to be a partner,
okay,
IRS, if you can go to that link that's on that slide, and one of the things is volunteer income tax, and then you can go through there and it'll guide you with a lot more information.
Okay, I have one other question. My next question is, you talked about the virtual VITA, or the virtual site. Can you tell me, is that up on the website? I didn't quite understand.
Is it on the website? Not really. Use any way that is in agreement. It's going to basically 3 sets of folks. There's going to be someone at a preparation site that is normally doing traditional returns. Then there'll be someone at the remote site. And prior to that, the IRS will work with those participants to organize a plan of how that process will play out.
Okay, that concludes my question. Thank you so much.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, Anita. Nikki, I'm going to read your question, and then if you have anything to add, go ahead. Nikki's question is, are you able to ballpark kind of the number of hours, weeks, or months it takes to start a free tax prep site?
There is training, and I think that training is about 36 hours. Is that about that? To set it up, it's going to take some more hours than that. It's going to take a lot of planning, and then I don't know. Jeff, do you have a good handle on that? A time estimate would be to go through the training, set up a site?
Right. I mean, guys, it's something that you want to start working on, I would say, October, November of leading into the next year to get your site certified. There's quite a few you can imagine quite a bit of paperwork and quite a bit of compliance pieces that you have to put together as an organization to be ready and to go. Training for volunteers tends to run about December and January. Most of our volunteers, we tell them give yourself a good 30 to 40 hours to do, review the material, take the test, pass the test. And so depending on the aptitude, I guess, of your volunteers, it can take a little longer. I think on maximum, I think we had one volunteer about 50 hours they dedicated to the test itself and training. So all I can say is if you're going to wade into the VITA site thing, you definitely want to connect with the IRS early, your local contact, I imagine, yeah, Becky, and get that process started because it does take a while. I mean, we're on our 4th year of doing this, but every year it's kind of like you're reteaching yourself, right, to get everything moving. So just an FYI.
Yeah. And we provide the software, and I don't know if you're aware of that, but we do provide the software and assistance if you need it to install and so forth. So in order to order a substantial and the correct amount of software, we need to know in advance, like Jeff was saying, October, November. We need to have a pretty good idea of how many folks are going to need software. And then, like you said, in November and December, the training is usually up and available, and then everybody's ready to launch sometime in January. So that's that. The first step would be to contact your local person. You send that email to partner@irs.gov, and they'll be more than happy to talk to you about it and tell them how they work within their territory, their part of the country. So please tell them about it. That'd be great. Thank you.
Great. Thank you both so much. I don't see any other questions, and thank you for your contact information. So and all the different contacts and links. So if people do have questions that come in later, there's a lot of different resources to access that. It's also 4:05, so we've been at an hour. So I'm gonna close out now. But Becky and Jeff, thank you so much for the great information and sharing information about this topic. And thank you everyone for taking the time out of your day for attending the webinar. So ANAs, we're going to have webinars every single Thursday from 3 to 4 on a variety of topics. And these webinars are hosted by our regional training and technical assistance centers. The next webinar, which is March 14th, next Thursday, is hosted by the Western Region Training and Technical Assistance Center. And that'll be all about the objective work plan, which is the standard form that ANA uses both application and grantees as a project management tool. March 21st, it's a webinar preparing for tribal consultation. ATF and HHS are having consultations this month, and so and next month. So it'll be a webinar preparing for those, and that's hosted by our Eastern Region Training and Technical Assistance Center. And then March 28th, it's a session focused really on project budgeting. Even if you're a current grantee and want some information on project budgeting, or an applicant looking to design a project, it might be a useful webinar for you, and that's hosted by our Alaska Training and Technical Assistance Center. And then the webinars are continuing every Thursday, and for those that might be interested in applying to ANA for our funding opportunity announcements this fiscal year, starting on April 11th, we'll start a series of webinars focused on application development. And we'll be posting more information about what exactly the topics are going to cover on our website in the upcoming days. So you can find information on how to register for these webinars once we have all that set up on the ANA website under events. As well. And Anita has raised her hand for another question, so turn it over to her, and then we'll close out. Anita?
Yes. My question was, will this information be provided through email notifications about the upcoming webinars?
Yes, it's probably the best way to get notification is, are you on the ANA listserv?
I don't, yeah, I guess I am, because I receive a lot of emails from you all. So. I just recently saw one for ACS for the educational grant, but I didn't see anything for anything else. So I was wondering, does it automatically, if you're on the list, automatically give you those webinars?
Yeah, we'll be sending it out about it probably. I think we sent out notification about this about a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week and a half, and then we'll try to send out reminders the week before. Yeah, we do have so the listserv, the website, and then the Regional Training Technical Assistance Center. That would be
okay.
For whatever region you're in. They all have listservs as well, so that's a good place to find out about this stuff too. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and as you can see, there's the contact information for Beckie, and also if you're interested in information on partnering at the IRS, and the great webpage as well. And thank you all very much for attending, and hope to see you on a future webinar soon. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Rich. That concludes the webinar today. Thanks for attending. This session was recorded and will be posted in your regional ANA TTA Center websites. So thanks again. If you have any questions, you can contact Beckie. I'll leave her contact info on the screen for a little while longer, and then you can just close the program whenever you're ready. So thanks a lot. Mahalo.